We're doing activity numero uno.
Activity numero uno.
Practicing measuring inches. So I'm actually not going to have you use your rulers on this part. I want you looking at my picture. So should your ruler be in your hands?
Yes.
Make sure you've got your tool in the smart spot. We're going to measure line segments. And a line segment is just a chunk of a line that has two end points. Okay? So it means that it has a starting point and an ending point. What are the two things it has?
Starting point and ending point.
Now the reason I'm not having you use your rulers to measure this is because our printer kind of made these funky and it's not to the actual inch mark. So if you pulled your ruler out, like if I pulled my ruler out, that's not an actual inch. It's a little bit too small. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to bother having you pull your rulers out because it wouldn't be the same answer and that's just really silly. So we're going to use their picture for this. And you're going to notice they have some loops. And the reason that they have these loops is they want us to notice where the whole inches are. And that's the whole unit, right? The unit that we're measuring in is inches. And then we're going to look for the fractions. So, hocus pocus. Oh, wait, because I'm still waiting on some eyeballs in good listening positions. Because you don't need anything at your desk. Your eyeballs are just up here. Please count the whole units, and that's every time that you see a whole number. Ready? 1,
2, 3.
Does this one go all the way to the next unit?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to write my whole unit first. I'm going to say, okay, it was 3 whole inches. And let me zoom out a little so that you can see where I wrote that. It's 3 whole inches. And then how much is this if it's right in between 3 and 4? Who can tell me what fraction of a unit that would be? If it's smack dab in the middle, it's like I cut it in...
Halves.
Oh, so it's 3 and 1...
And a quarter.
If I cut it smack down in the middle, I just cut it in half. So it's 3 and 1/2. And then what would my label be if I'm measuring? What unit am I measuring in right now, Jade? I'm measuring in inches. Does anybody know the shortcut so that you don't have to write the whole word inches every time? Addison? It's just IN. So the way I'm going to write that is just like this. This was 3.5 inches. What was my label?
Inches.
Are you ready for the next one? All right. Zooming in. Please count the whole units with me. Ready?
1, 2.
Oh, it doesn't quite make it to the 3. So it's 2. I'm going to write it here. 2 and
3 halves.
I've got blurters. Do we blurt? Watch it. I noticed that it's on one of my little lines. So should I count by halves or quarters?
Quarters.
Quarters. The little lines in my quarters. So it's 2 and 1, 2, 3 quarters. So I would write it as 2 and 3 quarters inches, right? Are you all ready? Because I'm going to start calling some volunteers to use their marker to show me my loops and my jumps. We're going to do one more that's got a fraction so that you guys have practice. Are you ready? Numero tres. Count the whole units with me.
1, 2.
Uh-oh. Does it go all the way to 2? So that means that it's 1 and...
1 inch. 1 quarter. 1 half.
Well, was it a little line or the middle line? It's a little line, so Gunnar, say it again. 1 and 1/4. Now, the tricky thing to remember is you can always count by quarters, but if you get to 2 quarters, are we going to write 2 quarters? Now, instead of saying 2 quarters, we're going to call that 1/2, right? So if you ever get to 2 quarters, you can see that 2 quarters is the same thing as halfway. Capiche? Gunner, you may go. And I'm going to have Mr. Dax come up and try this next problem for me. So bring your marker, my friend. I'm using the slacker catcher in my brain right now.
You can use the slacker catcher.
So Dax is going to come up. While he's coming up, you all are thinking, how many whole units do you see? And then what do you see for our fractions? So that you can compare if you agree or if you think something different.
Can we just
Right?
use one of your markers?
Nope. Did you find your marker? All right, he's coming up. I've got silent mathematicians at their seats sitting up. They're watching with their eyeballs to see if they agree or if they think something different. Dax, go ahead and circle. How many whole units does this line cross? And you can make the loops for those. 1, 2, and now he's going to count how many fractions we've got here after the 2. And you can step in front of it. That's okay. How many jumps are you going to make? See how this one, after I got to my 1, I jumped to where my end line is? You're going to go ahead and draw a jump loop here. How many did you jump, Dax? How many fractions? Oh, you only have to go to where the line ends. So do you see how their line segment ends right here? So go ahead and erase that extra part because we don't have to measure after their line ends. So Dax, you would call that 2 and 1 what?
Jump.
So how many is each jump worth? Good, 1/4. Go ahead and show your gestures, friends. Do you agree, 2 and 1/4? Or are you thinking something different?
I know what this means. This means
I agree too. Dax, use your marker to give us a point. What do you say?
Oh yeah! I know why we do.
Yeah.
I know why we do this because this
I need one
is
more
yes.
volunteer. You've
This
got a
is
chance
one.
to be beating me. 3-1. So let's see who's ready to try this next problem for me. Next measuring practice problem. I better do a girl this time, huh?
Oh.
Let's see here.
I wanna-
Oh, Maddie broke out the glasses. She's getting serious here. All right, Maddie, come on up.
Oh no, Maddie.
It's getting real up in here.
Maddie, the serious girl now. What?
Now, friends, they're starting at the 4. Do we ever start measuring at the 4? No, but because their line segment starts here, we still get to treat that as 0 and count how many whole units we have versus how many fractions. So, Maddie, you got your marker? All right, go ahead and circle our whole unit parts. And you guys are silently watching, seeing if you agree. Just got 1. Let's go all the way to the 6. All the way to the 6. Yep. This has got to be the whole units right now. Good. So 4 to 5 is 1. 5 to 6 is 2. 6 to 7 is 3. And then she's jumping. Ooh, was that a whole unit or is it a jumper? Jumper. So go ahead and let's change your line so it's easier to tell. And you guys can circle the fraction ones like that, but I just like to jump them because I think it's easier to count the number of jumps. So if you're starting at your 7 there, go ahead and jump.
I'm thinking something different. That's weird.
1, 2, 3. So Maddie, if you've got 3 circles and then 3 jumps, what do you think? How many inches long do you think this line segment is? And you all are listening, so you can give your gestures. Do you agree or think something different?
Not sure. I'm already thinking.
6 inches. What do you guys think? Ooh, I see a lot of people thinking different. Do you want to phone a friend on this one and see what they think? Come on up. Tell me what you think, girlie.
Is that a line on a 2 thingy?
All right, Savannah, what do you think here? How many inches do you think we've gone?
I forgot the word, but it's just like that.
3. Say what?
It's just like that. But
A quarter? 1/4?
Yeah.
Okay. So that guess was 3 1/3. What do you think? Do you agree with 3 1/3, or do you think something different? I see a lot of people are just sitting like, I don't know. Do I agree? Or do I think that a lot of people are thinking something different? Phone a friend again. We're really close. We're so close.
Braylon.
All right, Braylon.
Can you do a boy 3 times next?
3 3/4 or 3 3/4. What do you think about that, friends? Show your gestures. She's right. Now here's why.
No, 7.
We are always going to have a 4 or a 2 on the bottom. We're always talking about quarters or halves.
But it's
What are we always
7.
measuring in? Quarters or halves. So don't get tripped up because there's 3 jumps. That just means that you jumped 3 on top out of the 4 sections, right? That's the tricky part. So that's why this is new. I'm glad that we had those girls. Thank you for helping us learn on that one. So we went 1 whole inch, 2 whole
But it
inches,
says 7.
3 whole inches, and then we jumped 1, 2, 3 quarter inches. So it would be 3 3/4. Now Skylar just pointed something out. He said their ruler said 7, so shouldn't it be 7 3/4? Who can tell me why
Actually,
it's not
But
7
we
3/4?
only went 3 inches.
Oh yeah, go ahead and fix it yourself, sir. Why is
we
it not
only
7
went 3
3/4?
inches.
Yeah, they didn't start at 0. Since they started here, we only get a count from start to finish. All right, guess what? We're ready to move on to activity numero dos. Activity numero dos. Measuring with rulers. So the reason that I'm again not having this in front of you and it's up here is because I want to make sure that we do this the right way. For my directions, it says estimate the length of each line segment in inches, then measure it to the nearest half inch. So are we going to do quarter inches today?
No.
Just half inch. So they gave me a picture. They gave me a little key here that's saying, hey, this is an inch. So knowing that an inch is this size, what is your guess for how long you think the line segment for number 7 is? Who wants to tell me your estimate? Where should our rulers be, friends? Yep. Skylar, what's your estimate, sir?
2.5.
So Skylar thinks this is going to be 2.5. Does anybody have a different estimate? Real? Maybe 3.5? I was going to guess 3. So let's go ahead and we'll put, since you were the first one to speak up, sir, we will use yours. Estimate, 2.5 what?
Inches.
2.5 inches. So let's see how big it is. Now I told you, remember my printer messed up a little bit, so it's not going to be perfect inches. We're going to have to look at what's the closest. So when I pull my ruler out, am I lining this up right?
No.
Who can tell me what I need to adjust? Savannah. Okay, so I have to slide my ruler over like this. See how my 0, Ellie and Rylan? You see how my 0 is actually lined up with their line now? So even though my ruler is overlapping
It's
a little,
right in the
that's the
middle.
right way because
It's right in the middle.
I have to make sure that I'm measuring starting with 0. What do I have to start with?
0.
How many inches long is this line, friends? Everybody can tell me how many inches is it?
3.
It lines up right with the 3. So my actual measurement would be 3
Inches.
That was weak stuff. My actual measurement would be 3
Inches.
We're going to try another one. Numero 8. All right, who has a guess for this one? If that was 3, who has a guess for how long this next line is going to be? Doesn't look a whole lot bigger.
It's like
Does it look a
3.5.
whole
I
inch
can't-
bigger
I
or a
think
partial
it's-
inch bigger? Use your GT. Eli, do you have a guess?
3.5.
Maybe 3.5?
Yeah, because
Does
it's
anybody
like
have a different guess?
half more of the other one.
Braylon? Ooh, maybe it's 3 3/4. Well, they just said measuring to the nearest half inch. So that means it's either going to be 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, or one of those.
I
Right?
think it's 3.5. 3.5.
So You guys think 3.5?
Yeah.
All right, let's put that as our estimate.
It has to be 3.5.
Are you ready to measure the real deal?
Yes. It's 3.5.
All right, am I good to go?
No. Yes. No.
What do I need to do? What am I doing wrong? Where do I need to start, Addison?
You need to line the 0 up with
I need to line up the 0. Alrighty. My 0's lined up.
It's
How many inches is this segment, Dax?
3
Here, I'll try to zoom a little more.
3 and 3/4.
tiny ones.
3 and 3/4.
Oh yeah, so we're going to the nearest half inch. Because remember, the printer's a little bit off. So if I'm going to this line right here, Dax, how much is that? 3 and... Well, it's right in between 3 and 4. What would that be? 3.5. Hey, good estimate, Mr. Mallow. It was 3.5.
Inches.
3.5
Eli.
inches. Now, class.
Yes.
Something else they're going to ask you to do on your
Mrs.
homework
Carl.
today is draw line segments. When they ask you to do that, here's how I would like you to draw them. Like this first one says 5 inches. We're going to start with a dot. What are we going to do?
Start with the dot.
Because it gives you a spot to start measuring from. Then you are going to line up your ruler. What do you do?
Line up your ruler.
With the end or with the 0?
With the 0.
Okay, so I line my 0 up with my dot. And then I'm going to actually make my mark for where I'm going to draw to. So my 0 is lined up. If I need to go 5 inches, I'm going to put my dot right above the 5. Do you guys see how I did that?
Yeah.
Then I can connect the dots. Okay? And I know that this is going to be 5 inches. Okay? You will do that on your homework today. Let's see. Do you do line plots today on your homework? You don't. So we will practice line plots tomorrow. What I need to do is give you your homework and remembering.
Oh, yeah.
On your homework and remembering, I can tell you since you don't have it yet. You are going to be first measuring line segments.
Measuring line segments. What are those?
Second,
Second,
drawing line segments.
drawing line segments.
So this little practice page that we had right here, this is exactly what your homework is going to look like today. Now, remember, our printer is perfect.
No.
So sometimes it might be that they're asking you to measure to the 1/2 inch, and it might be lined up kind of like this, where it's not perfectly.
What if they get all of
It's
them
not
right?
perfectly to the 1/2 inch. So you're
What-
just going to go to the nearest 1/2 inch, okay? Today, I only want you to do the homework side. I want you to practice just the homework. If you finish your homework,
Go to the
I would like you to go on to remembering because it's a whole lot more fun than just doing your facts. Okay? If you finish both, then see how many more flashcards you can get through also. But we only have 10 minutes.
I have a question.
So you must do homework. If you finish the homework side, what are you going to do?
Measuring
Remembering, and if you're done with the whole thing, what should you do?
flashcards.
All right, but I'm really wanting to check your measuring. So you must do homework. You got 10 minutes on the clock.